Welcome back to Stu Structures. We're here for another video in the series of building the freight house, so stay tuned. Okay, so I am Mark Stewart, your favorite Pharaoh equestrianologist, and we're here to continue working on the freight house. Like I said, we've got a lot of things to work on. I'm going to go ahead and try to get those first story windows all cut and in place on the first floor. Maybe start looking at how we're going to put the roofs together for the two buildings with the overhangs, and then you got all those wooden supports and everything, rafters that are underneath of those, and then you got those molded little arms and stuff that come out from the building on those little brick platforms that support those awnings. So anyway, there's just tons of things to work on, so let's just jump into this and start building.
Well, I just want to kind of give you a glimpse. I went ahead and put the glass behind the windows in the second story. You can't really tell it very well from this shot, but it's in there. The next thing we're going to work on are these windows that go around the first story. And I showed you in one of the previous episodes of how I'm going to cut the arches. I'm just going to lay them individually into each of these openings and come back and mark and cut all the arches, because every arch is just a slight bit different. And I'm going to work on one side at a time and just do one side at a time, and that way I can make sure they're all not misplaced in the wrong windows that I cut them for. And once I get them cut, I just come back and tape them down to this board and rattle can paint them black. Now, while I'm waiting for each of these walls to set up, I can also go ahead and do the shades in the windows for the second story that I have the glass in for now. So, once I do that, I just come through and work on, like I said, one side at a time and let it set up. And I did all the window shades and all the windows in the first story building. Now I have to come back and add the trim piece to the top of the arch of the windows to finish out the windows. But basically I have all of them in place in the wall, and it's starting to look like a real building. It's looking pretty good now. Now the other thing I'm going to do is go ahead, since I'm starting to close up and finish off the second story, is go ahead and put this blackout baffle in the second story. And I just cut black construction paper and just kind of fit it up in there and measure it corner to corner, get the lengths, cut a slit in the center of each of the black pieces halfway down through and lock them together and put them in. And then I come back and measure the roof and cut these two roof panels. And, basically, I'm adding a foot of overhang all the way around. I think I added a foot and a half to the ends versus the lower edge of the walls, because in the pictures it just looks like there's a little more overhang on the ends than there are on the low sides of the walls. And then there's 1 foot on the low side of the walls. And I come back and glue these panels in place, and we have the roof, on the second story.
Now, the next thing I'm going to start with, and I'm not going to get to apply them to the building this trip, but is, talked about the wood and the supports for the overhangs on either side of the building, and then there's this long extension that comes off the end. And there are wooden pieces that are flat against the building that sit on those brick shelves, and then there's all these things that I precast earlier for supports that come up and support the rafters and stuff that support the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these strips to make the wooden pieces that actually glue to the building itself above those brick shelves. So I figure out the width by measuring the brick and just cut these long strips, and then I cut them to height, and I just cut enough of them to do every one of my brick ledges, and then I glue them to this board so I can just take them outside and rattle can spray paint them black. And I don't need the back side of it glued, because that's what I'll glue to the building. So that's once I take them off the tape, they're all good and ready to apply to the building. And the other thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just cut this baffle, since I already had the paper out for the first story, and get it ready so I can put it in the building as well later on.
Well, as you can see, I still have a different hat on and not my railroad cap. I taken a while to get this one together too. When I originally started this video a couple weeks ago, I said, well, maybe now that I'm home I'll be able to get a couple out real quick, but I'm still trying to get moved from the other farm. It's getting close. My deadline was the end of July, and that's not going to happen. Most of the structures are torn down and moved. The plants are all moved, but I've still got a ton of stuff to move around, and at this end I'm rebuilding structures, and it's getting to the dry point of the year, so I'm starting to have to water plants more, and well, anyway, blah blah blah, life just gets in the way. But we are getting somewhere slowly with this building. It's probably going to be another few weeks before I can get another video out. For the next month or two, it's just going to be a slow process, and I apologize. I know some of you tune in every week to watch this, and I just, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I've done my best to do everything I can do, and there's not enough hours in the day. And this last week, it was in the upper 90s, and my body just can't tolerate it the way it used to at this age. So in any case, I am going to just slowly start working on more of this whenever I can find a minute or two. So hopefully here in the next 2 or 3 weeks I'll get another video out. And even the stuff I've been working on the side, I've not been able to spend enough time with it to even get one of those videos out either. So it's just a slow process, but I am happy with where the building's going. It's really starting to come together, and it's really looking like a nice building. We'll be getting the roof on here before long, and then starting on all the overhangs and the walkway, and all that stuff. So it should come together quick if I had the time to put it together quick. But in any case, I want to thank you for coming back and sharing this time with me. Like and subscribe to the channel. Share this video with other people in the hobby so that they know that this is out there and they can learn how to do some scratch building of their own, or maybe what not to do. But in any case, I do appreciate you coming back and sharing this time with me, and I hope you're spending some time on your railroad. I know during the summer a lot of people kind of get away from it. The winter time is more of the model railroading season. But in any case, like and share this, like I said, and happy model railroading.